Is the baby product industry doomed? And are we headed to a future without children? I'm Michael Estopanol, and tonight on Dateline MGMT, the shocking reasons the millennial generation has decided to just say no to parenthood. The world was turned topsy-turvy earlier this year with the revelations disclosed in Stuart Friedman's new book, Baby Bust. In 20 years, have the mindset of business school graduates changed that much? According to the research undertaken by Dr. Friedman, the answer is yes, and the ways that things have changed may surprise you. In 1992, women were entering the workforce in record numbers, but were still outweighed by men. Of the business-minded female graduates, 91% of women were planning on possibly having children. Jump forward to 2012, and the answer saying yes to the very same question was just 41%. It's not because the women of today are less caring. In fact, today's generation could be considered one of the most compassionate generations, highly concerned with making the world a better place. The problem is, they're just not selfish enough. Millennials want to make the world a better place and be a parent to everyone, but just not a parent themselves. So why these shocking changes? Let's start from the beginning. Millennials were the first generation to more than likely be raised by two working parents. They may very well look back at their childhood and remember all the times that their parents weren't there. But that's not a definitive reason. I was raised by nannies, as both my parents worked full-time jobs, and I haven't been dissuaded against parenthood. Although, when I was a child, I guess I did want to become a Power Ranger more than I did a parent. But that changed as I grew older. Now I want to be both. To find out more, we sent our cameraman to infiltrate the world of the millennial so that we can see this majestic beast in its natural environment. The millennial was raised in a world of changing technology and has since incorporated these devices into its life, preferring mainly those devices beginning with the letter I. It is easily bored and distracted, a quality it applies to its work life, changing jobs an average of every 2 years, half that of the older Generation X. But the millennial is not a lazy beast, with most successful millennials working an average of 72 hours per week. The traditional office building ecosystem of the Generation X has been abolished in the favor of the work from wherever and whenever attitude of the millennial. In terms of child rearing, the millennial has recognized the sparseness of the job land, and as offspring cost more than ever to raise, few are willing to undertake the investment. Just how much is this investment, you may ask? Estimates place the cost of raising a child to the age of 18 at just shy of $250,000, and that doesn't include the cost of putting a child through college. Millennials are more materialistic than previous generations, and so it is not surprising that fewer are willing to set aside that kind of money when there are so many alternate uses for that money, such as the iMac, iPhone, iPad, and iPod. But going beyond the dollar cost of raising a child, one must also look at the time cost, and more specifically, the opportunity cost. The millennial expects to be working 72 hours per week. Without this time commitment to career, the millennial will fall behind and be unable to support his materialistic habits. Compared to its predecessor, Generation X, the millennial anticipates spending an extra 20 hours a week working. Is this new breed extraordinarily hardworking? Or has the environment dictated this new work ethic? Evidence suggests that the environment has changed. spawning a survival of the fittest mentality in this new generation. The graduates themselves know of the competition and have been suitably downtrodden about their chances of success. If they do not work longer and harder than every one of their peers, then they will be left behind, forced out of the business world and over to the realm of food services. Additionally, this new generation has had to pay more for their education. So much so, in fact, that they are drowning in debt. Due to this financial disability, millennials are slaves to the system until their debts have been worked off and their chains removed. Indeed, some have even commented that this type of work is not their passion and that they would prefer to do other things. But, because of the money, they are unable to consider more interesting fields of study. Due to this debt and the growing animosity towards their working life, adding a child to the mix is an unappealing addition. Although the male and female millennials have the same overall outlook, it is important to look at the differences between the two genders. To do this, we've sent our special correspondent into the field to find out more. Michael, what have you found out for us?
Thanks, Michael. Yes, I am here in the field where I've been interviewing various male and female millennials to find out what their thoughts on the matter are. Excuse me, sir, do you think you could pontificate on the reasons your generation is not having children?
Yeah, bro, I just think that having to work all the time is going to be such a time sick that, having to work all the time and having a job and then adding a baby to the whole mix, it's going to be a total buzzkill, and it just wouldn't be fair to the child. And that, and kids are really expensive, man. I have to pay more than ever in history for living expenses, and then there are my student loans, and so after taxes, I get $5, and it's uncool, man. And I just want to save the world, and I want that $5 to go towards medicine for all the third world children and all that. Save the world. I'd rather just spend on that rather than give life to a child of my own. And it just seems like it'd be so selfish. You know what I mean, bro?
Yes, I do know what you mean. As we can see, from the male perspective, it seems like costs, time, and selflessness are holding the millennials back from reproducing. Let's see what the female side has to say. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you think you have a moment to tell us why your generation is less likely to have children?
I just feel like for so long it was expected that a woman become a mother, and I just want to go out and be my own woman. I really just want to go out there and make a difference, and I heard that people frown upon leaving the baby in the car while I go out and feed the homeless. But, really I just want to get ahead in my career, and I feel like it's going to take all my time. So that's something I really want to focus on first. Maybe later in life when my career is more developed and I'm more financially stable. But also, I just don't feel like a baby will give me the same sense of social fulfillment that I get with having a good group of friends. I mean, it's not like I can have a glass of wine with the baby.
And so it seems like the ideas of selfless desire to save the world, as well as an increased focus on career and fiscal stability, are found in both the male and female millennial. Although the female millennial additionally places value on fulfilling friendships rather than a biological family. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. That was very enlightening. As we have seen, this new millennial generation has taken on many a role, but parent is not one of them. Environmental factors, upbringing, and conscientious desires have pushed reproduction to the bottom of their to-do list. This information is very relevant to you, our viewer, due to your preeminent place in today's business world, and as a bridge between the two generations. What will you place in higher esteem? Career? or family? And how can we change our society to better incorporate these new environmental factors and ensure that there will be post-millennial generations? From all of us here at Dateline MGMT, thank you for watching, and good night.